When and where was the first American Thanksgiving? Who's to get the credit or the blame? Is any of that even open to debate? Absolutely. In America, everything is open to debate. One thing we know for sure about the first American Thanksgiving. It was in America, but not necessarily in the United States. The Canadian claim dates to 1578, when the English explorer Martin Frobisher gave thanks to God for having reached America without drowning or ending up on an iceberg. But he was too late. In 1565, 56 years before the Pilgrims, Pedro Menendez de Aviles came ashore in Florida. He founded the oldest North American city, St. Augustine. He and 800 colonists also gave thanks for having arrived alive. The Pilgrims' belated claim to the title of first was not until 1621. They put on a grand feast, and they certainly had plenty of artists running around painting their pictures so as to document the event, but they didn't get across the finish line first. Several million hours of viewer time have already been wasted on the question of whether the Pilgrims' Thanksgiving was even worthy of celestial approbation. Did the Pilgrims get over on their indigenous guest by stealing the deed to a continent? Or was the Wapanang chief happy enough to trade some beachfront property for superior weapons technology to be used against their neighbors, the Narragansett? If the local residents hadn't been ravaged by European diseases before the Mayflower even arrived, the Wapanag might not have been so open to a sit-down. As today, hidden agendas and dubious intentions may have been on the menu. It may not be clear who got the larger piece of the pie at that autumn negotiation, but it had little to do with being the first Thanksgiving. In a race, the winner is not whoever happens to get their toe across the start line first. Does it matter whether DeVille or John Winthrop started first? After all, there was no annual Thanksgiving celebration until 200 years later. The colonists celebrated some sort of tentative Thanksgiving at the start of the Revolutionary War. Years later, George Washington proclaimed a national Thanksgiving one year, but it was on again and off again by the decade sort of thing. Only with Lincoln's proclamation of 1863 did the Thanksgiving's Day become established as an annual holiday in the United States. And our neighbors to the north came in nearly 2 decades later with their own permanent Thanksgiving holiday in 1879. So, Lincoln gets credit for being first. He certainly didn't mince words in his proclamation. With humble penitence for our national perverseness and disobedience, commend to his tender care all those who have become widows, orphans, mourners, or sufferers in the lamentable civil strife in which we are unavoidably engaged. These were tough times on both sides of the war. The mid-Civil War celebration was perhaps another case of giving thanks prematurely. So, it was Lincoln. Nope. Sarah Josepha Hale gets the honor. Who? She was another one of those dynamic women that history produces fairly often, like Harriet Beecher Stowe, author of Uncle Tom's Cabin, who Lincoln described as the little woman who started the big war. Sarah Hale was the little woman who finally established Thanksgiving as an American holiday. Hers was not an overnight success. She started advocating for Thanksgiving in 1826, so by the time Lincoln responded to her suggestion in 1863, she had been working on the project for nearly 4 decades. Not satisfied with establishing a national holiday, she went on to pen Mary Had a Little Lamb, one of the most famous nursery rhymes for American schoolchildren. So, for Americans, when they hoist that turkey leg on the last Thursday in November, they can also give thanks to the woman who cooked it all up. History. Complicated.